What is a schedule of values in construction? In this video, I'm going to talk all about it, make sure that we understand exactly what it is, what it's used for, and I'm going to pull this definition into a realm where I can understand it. I know if I can understand it with the way I process information, then anybody can. I have got to, for my own brain, simplify these concepts and understand exactly what's going on so I know it's waste and what's valuable, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video here. What is a schedule of values? Why is it used? Why is it important? And what are some things that we should really look at and consider as we go throughout construction? If you're interested in that, then stay with us. So a schedule of values was one of these things that when I was first in construction, people were throwing out the term schedule of values, schedule of values, schedule of values. The first thing we need to do is break up our project and create our schedule of values. And I'm like, what is this schedule of values? And when I was a field engineer, I didn't know. Back in the day, we didn't have the Google like we do now. Like I didn't have quick access to the information, which is so cool that we have videos like this that can explain it, and ChatGPT and Google, right? But I didn't have the chance to look it up, and so it was kind of vague to me, right? And I hadn't gotten to that level of training. The only thing I knew is that the project engineers would go out for progress payments and track how far along a trade was according to the schedule of values to approve their progress payment and basically pay their subcontractors or their trade partners. And so I was like, what is this thing? Now that I have for years been in higher levels of management, working with project managers, and we own our own construction company, this has really come into focus and been something that I am dedicated to perfect internally for ourselves because it has so many consequences and it is such an important system. So let me talk to you about what it is. A schedule of values is a detailed document that breaks down the total project price for a project. This breakdown is distributed throughout all of the different component parts, categories, phases, and specific trades or scopes of work that make up your total number, your total contract value. It is used to track progress on your project, and it's used as a tool to help track progress so that we can apply for payment. And that works from subcontractor or trade partner to the GC and from the GC to the owner. Basically, a schedule of values acts as like a roadmap, helps the contractor and owner to track progress, make accurate payments, and monitor costs. So I'm going to go through a list right now of some of the key components, and at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you why this is so crucial to the success of your project. Number one, the schedule of values is broken up into different line items. These line items correspond to different stages or parts of the project. These could include major work categories like site preparation, foundations, framing, plumbing, electrical, finishes, and so on. So you get the idea. And each one of them will have, number two, a value. So each line item will have a corresponding dollar amount that represents their portion of the budget. The reason it's so important is number three, so that we can approve pay applications. As work is completed on specific parts of the project, the contractor will submit a payment application that is tied to and references the schedule of values. The payment application will show how much of each of the categories has been completed. So let me go ahead and stop right now and say that the reason this is important is if you are going to say to the owner, or if a trade was going to say to you, hey, I've completed 60% of my work, that would be very, very hard to quantify. But if you said, hey, owner, we are billing at 60% of the electrical installation, you can go out and identify by observing in the field and tracking the progress on your production plan, how much has actually been completed, and I will say finished, so that we know if the amount that's being billed is accurate according to the schedule of values. So it breaks it down into smaller component parts so that we can actually evaluate that, because we don't want trades, or we as general contractors don't want to overbill. There is a concept that we lose some leverage when we do that, but also it's really not good for cash flow for the owner, and it can turn our billing, it can get out of whack from a billing standpoint, and we can start spending money early on in the project and then later on not have very good cash flow. So there's a number of reasons to accurately bill throughout, and having the schedule of values line items helps us to really understand how much progress has been made in each category. Once we know the percentage, that portion of work will be billed either from the trade partner to the GC or the GC to the owner, and that is how work is invoiced. And what I described there is number 4, project percentages. So just as an easy example, and I'm doing this for me so that I can simplify and understand it. Basically, it's according to that schedule of values line item. If 50% of the work has been completed, then 50% of the work needs to be invoiced and paid. Number 5, let's talk about retainage. Now, I do want to just say right out of the gate that I hope one of these days that we can finish work as we go to the point where we can either dramatically reduce the need for retainage or get rid of it altogether. In today's current market, and according to our legal requirements and how the industry game is played, we currently hold retainage. That means we hold money back from the trade, right? So that there is an incentive to finish, and we do not pay that retainage until all of the work is done, punch list is complete, warranty items are fixed, and we feel comfortable releasing that. And that's typically anywhere between 5 to 10%. But my point here is that retainage percentage will typically be done within that schedule of values line item within that breakdown. Number 6, adjustments and change orders. If you do have a change order, it is very helpful to allocate that change order to that specific schedule of values category, and to either, like we talk about, decrease or increase that amount. Make sure that we understand where that change is happening on that roadmap for the owner and the contractors, and make sure that it is reflected accordingly and in the right category. So that's basically how it works. And if you have more questions for me, we can put it in the comments below. If you want references to books or experts that do this every day, or actually legal advice, we have recently come in contact with some amazing contract and legal professionals that will help you out with this. If you're a general contractor, owner, or a trade partner wanting to understand what's fair and what the best management practices are, what your standard operating procedures are. In fact, one of the references that we have will help you with that as a consultant, and she actually works with us at Leanbuilt to do so. So real quick, I do want to tell you what are some of the advantages of having your schedule of values broken out. Number 1, transparency. It provides a roadmap. Everybody can see how the project is financially broken down and see exactly how we're tracking and trending, and really understand costs as they apply to the individual line items. Number 2, payment management. It helps the trade partner to report on accurate progress so that they can get paid, which helps with cash flow, and it helps the billing process to work better overall. Number 3, project monitoring. It allows inside that roadmap for us to see these different schedule of values budget categories and to track our actual costs with our estimated costs, and it can help if we have any disputes and resolve that if we are over or under budget. Number 4, it is required contractually many times, and so having a schedule of values really enables you to break out the project, have that roadmap, communicate with the owner, do progress payments, make sure that we are on track, and it will actually enable all of your other financial systems, and it will enable things like tracking to percentage, finishing work, reconciling trade damage, enabling our cost codes, and every other financial function. It's a good idea to have your schedule of values. Number 5, if there are any disputes, your schedule of values really breaks down accurate budget totals. And it is a commonly known tool in project management, so you can go to any project anywhere in North America and probably throughout the world and have people understand this basic concept. And so the more you can look into this, the better off you'll be. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you some references in the description below to some great project management books. We are going to turn this into a blog post, and we are here if you ever need us. But enjoy the magical world of having your schedule of values broken down properly, and then refine it from there. Make sure that it helps you with billing. Make sure that it's detailed enough. Make sure that it helps you to track accurate totals, and make sure that it enables all other financial systems. And after a couple of projects, you can get really, really good at this and have it really set you up for success. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.